Arkansas's most watched sports show, Hooten's Arkansas Football.
Hello and welcome to the Marketplace Grill and Hooten's Arkansas Football. We've got highlights from the 9th week of Arkansas's high school season. The playoff picture really starting to take shape now. We're going to show you highlights from a lot of big games on Friday night coming up in the next half hour here on Hooten's Arkansas Football. We are at the Marketplace Grill. We're going to show you some great menu items from the Marketplace. They've got locations across the state. We'll be telling you about that as well and getting you hungry before this show is over. First, though, let's get started with the highlights, and we'll begin with the big schools, Class 7A and 6A, and they're brought to you by Twin City Bank.
If we run 98 out of this, all right, you got to get to there. You're there.
If there is the end zone, Russellville coach Jeff Holt's Cyclones were there all night Friday at Conway. First quarter, first drive for Russellville, and senior quarterback Blake Humphrey spots Derek Owens. Owens will do the rest. 20-yard touchdown. That kept an 8-play, 71-yard drive. Russellville 7, Conway 0. Ensuing kickoff. Conway needs a spark, and they get it. Conway speedster Isaiah Jackson on the loose. That dude's hard to contain, but the Russellville defense would force a 3-and-out, and here come the Cyclones. Humphrey on the play action, looking to the back of the end zone. Nathan, don't call me Dwight Clark. Cathcart comes down with the catch. Nice grab. Sorry for the flashback, Cowboy fans. It's Russellville 14, Conway 0. Now check this, some exclusive Hootens.com ISO video. It's Derek Owens. He's on the Sonic Super Team. He's on the State Farm Awards watch list, and he's on his way to the end zone. 38-yard touchdown. Owens had 3 on the night. Russellville drove 98 yards for its 4th score of the night. The final, Russellville 28, Conway 6. Top-ranked Bryant trying to stay ahead of Russellville in the 7A Central Conference race at North Little Rock. And look at North Little Rock's Jonathan Dyer. Squirting loose and covering 40 yards into Bryant territory. From there, North Little Rock quarterback David Holt takes care of it, hitting Brian Briles. 25-yard touchdown. North Little Rock tried to make its season with an upset of the number 1 team. But here comes Bryant trying to mount a comeback. But look at North Little Rock's Chris Joshua with the interception. And number 1 is going down. Final score, North Little Rock 21, Bryant 0. At Quigley Stadium, Central and Catholic, both 3-2 in conference play, battling for playoff spots. And look at Central going to the air. Randy Rankin unloads the bomb. Lamont Lacefield. That covers 72 yards. And a few plays later, Bo Dillon scoots in from 8 yards out. That ties the score 7-7. But Catholic strikes back in a hurry. Sophomore quarterback Taylor Bartlett hits Chris Rhodes, and he's gone. 68-yard touchdown, Catholic up 14-7, but Hootens.com has Central favored by 1. The final, Tigers 28, Catholic 27. Here's Hootens.com Class 7A rankings. The team that started the season ranked number 1 by Hootens.com is number 1 headed into Week 10. We believe the Bentonville Tigers are the best team in the state. 5 turnovers and a 3-point loss at HAR-BER means the Tigers will likely have to win on the road, though, to play for the state championship. HAR-BER can play at home until state championship weekend if it beats rival Springdale next week. Bryant has flirted with disaster all season and drops to number 3 after that shutout loss to North Little Rock. Fayetteville lost in overtime at HAR-BER, but sticks at number 4. Russellville is red hot with the Mad CABOT team coming to town next week. Rogers starts a second 5. Then it's Northside, Central, Catholic, and CABOT down to number 10 after losing to winless Pine Bluff, which rounds out the Hootens.com top 15. In Class 6A, undefeated Lake Hamilton battling top-ranked Texarkana. 6A South Conference title on the line, and Texarkana's Mario Paxton picks off the pass, and all he sees is grass. Lake Hamilton's first play results in 7 Texarkana points. But the Wolves would answer with All-State kicker Jordan Gray. He kicked 3 field goals on the night, and now more Lake Hamilton. 200-pound fullback David Church finishing off a Lake Hamilton drive. Wolves were up 10-7. And now, with just 21 seconds before halftime, Lake Hamilton moving again. Butterfield finds his tight end. That's Josh Profit, and he does the rest getting into the end zone. It was Lake Hamilton 17, Texarkana 7 at the half. Gray would add another field goal in the third, but on the first play of the fourth quarter, TEXARKANA hands it to Tim Lackey, filling in for the injured Dennis Johnson. That cut Lake Hamilton's lead to 6, but that's as happy as the Hogs would get. Final score, Lake Hamilton 23, Texarkana 14.
All the times when it was tough, you didn't quit, you didn't give up, it all paid off.
They had a lot of speed, but they were playing off sometimes, and we took advantage of that, running some out routes and stuff. But really, we just stuck to our game plan and ran it down the field. So the run game was the key to the game, I thought.
There's a new number 1 in Hootens.com Class 6A rankings. West Memphis is on top after blowing out Jacksonville 36-8. The Blue Devils will likely play host to Texarkana in the second round of the playoff. Lake Hamilton, which held Texarkana to just 180 yards of offense Friday, has the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Their junior quarterback Philip Butterfield's impressive. He completed 11 of 18 for 208 yards against the Hogs on Friday. Sylvan Hills is the number 2 seed out of the East and will likely make it to the Final Four. And El Dorado's back in the playoffs after a 2-year absence. Sheridan started its season in Simmons' first Hootens.com kickoff week and is headed to the playoffs for a second straight year. The Yellow Jackets will play at number 1 West Memphis in the first round. Marion needs one more win to make the playoffs. Number 9 Benton is out of the postseason picture for the first time in 5 years. Defending state runner-up Mountain Home is number 11. Then it's Jonesboro, Watson Chapel, Little Rock Hall, and SEARCY.
Hi, I'm Candace Crow from Desark, and more highlights are coming up on Hooten's Arkansas football. Let's go!
We begin our Class 5A highlights at Little Rock Christian. The Warriors playing host to top-ranked Greenwood, and that's Greenwood quarterback Tyler Wilson. Passing to Jake Davidson. Greenwood looking like number 1 early, but a couple of plays later, Little Rock Christian's George Press intercepts Wilson in the end zone. That stopped the Bulldog drive. Now we're going the other way. And on 4th down, Little Rock Christian junior quarterback Griffin Coon hits his go-to guy, Tyler Weddle. 30-yard touchdown. Weddle caught 2 touchdown passes on the night. Both of them were on 4th down. In the second quarter, Little Rock Christian back in business, threatening again. Coon rumbling and stumbling, taking out our cameraman at the 5. Then Coon pulls the old jump pass to a wide open Jacob Gullitz. And Little Rock Christian was up 14-0. But here comes Greenwood executing the 2-minute drill. Wilson to C.J. McCraney. And that pass play would set up a short score. It was 14-7 at halftime. On the opening kick of the second half, Christian will set the tone. Adam Vera with the smackdown. The ball's loose. Curtis Heaton's got it, and he's going to take it in for a Christian touchdown. The Warriors also returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns in the third quarter, and this one got away from Greenwood. Final score, undefeated, Little Rock Christian 44, previous number 1 Greenwood 7.
Pat yourself on the back, you did a great job.
We just came out a lot of fire, a lot of passion, home field. Obviously Greenwood's big time, so we came out, we got Dyer started, and that in turn helped open up the passing game.
Halloween still 4 days away, but Pulaski Academy always scares its opponents. Early on, PA quarterback Spencer Keith finds Blake Tyler, and the Bruins go up 7-0 on Mills. Now on the kickoff, PA going for the jugular, and Carlton Letting recovers the onside kick. A few plays later, Keith, another touchdown pass, this one to Cruz Williams. PA 13, Mills zip. Next possession, the same combo. Keith to Williams, the Razorback recruit, and the route is on. Final score, PA 53, Mills 30. Here's Hootens.com Class 5A rankings. For the first time this year, we have a shakeup atop the 5A. Undefeated CAMDEN Fairview is our new number 1. The Cardinals beat Hot Springs Lakeside by 21 on Friday. Blytheville moves up to number 2. The Chickasaws are 5A East champs and could play at number 3 Little Rock Christian in the semifinals. Greenwood drops to number 4, and there's PA with a big road trip next week to number 8 Monticello. Number 6 Batesville plays number 7 BB next week with the number 2 playoff seed out of the East on the line. And Hot Springs is in the top 10 for the first time since 2002. The Trojans play host to CAMDEN Fairview next week for the Southwest Conference title. Number 11 Bologna entered the playoff race on Friday with a 12-point win at Harrison. Pulaski Robinson stays at number 13, and the Senators are back in the playoffs after a 1-year absence. CROSSETT's number 16, and the Nettleton Raiders control their playoff destiny. Nettleton gets in with a victory next week.
Brought to you by Sonic.
We begin our Class 4A highlights in Lone Oak. The Jackrabbits lost starting quarterback Rollins Elam to injury, turning to sophomore Jacob Taylor in a big ball game against Stuttgart, and just before halftime, Michael Howard comes down with Taylor's bomb, and Lone Oak was up by 5, 18-13 at the break. Stuttgart has its quarterback Seth Allison back from injury, and Stuttgart started the second half strong. Brandon Smith takes Allison's pass for a first down. He's into Lone Oak territory, and a few plays later on 3rd and 2, Allison goes back to Brandon Smith, and Stuttgart's on top, 19-18 midway through the third. And just moments later, Stuttgart looked like it would pull away. Taylor, the sophomore, is intercepted by Allison. He's playing both ways, cramping up a little bit, but he's going to be all right. Just a few plays later, on 4th and 13, Allison gets pressure, takes off. He pump fakes way past the line of scrimmage, makes a man miss, and Stuttgart's in the red zone looking to add to its lead. But how about some Lone Oak D? On 4th and go, Allison's not going to get in. Lone Oak holds. But the Rabbits are still down by 1 until the 6.5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. That's when Taylor, the sophomore, throws 27 yards. His 3rd touchdown of the night is to Clarence Harris. He pulled it away. The interference penalty declined, and Lone Oak goes to Newport next week for a shot at the conference title. Final score, the Lone Oak Jackrabbits 24, Stuttgart 19.
Lone Oak has arrived this year.
Lone Oak could run into Central Arkansas Christian in the playoffs. CAC in the purple against the Queen, and CAC quarterback Drew Stringfellow hits Joseph Adams from 42 yards out. That was one of Adams' 2 touchdown catches on the night. Next possession, another of Stringfellow's 4 touchdown passes. This one to John Riley Wilson, and CAC wins its 3rd conference title in 4 years. Final score, CAC 31, the Queen 12. Here's Hooten.com Class 4A rankings. Warren is still number 1 after clinching the 8 4A title and wrapping up the number 1 playoff seed with the 39-7 win in Hamburg. Undefeated Newport is number 2. The CAC Mustangs are number 3 and the 7 4A champs. Ozark starts the next 5. The Hillbillies play Boonville for a conference championship next week. Number 8 Highland is undefeated and has home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And there's Lone Oak, headed to Newport next week with a 2 4A title on the line. Number 11, Gravitt, will be the top seed out of the 1 4A. Osceola's 12, and it's Farmington and the Dardanelle Sand Wizards, which will likely finish second in the 4 4A after beating number 15 Boonville by 20 Friday night. Hamburg is 16, then it's the Pirates and Prairie Grove, with Pocahontas moving back into the top 20 after a 24-point win over Truman. The Glen Rose Beavers racing for a showdown with Bauxite next week. But first things first, Friday night, Episcopal Collegiate in town wearing the white. Episcopal quarterback Robert Henry hits Edmund Jaskowitz, and holy Jaskowitz, Batman, look at all the green. Jaskowitz, 40-yard pickup, but Coach Billy Elmore's boys would bow up, hold Episcopal, and then get going on offense. Glen Rose quarterback Nathan Jones finds Bo Mitchell, 23-yard pickup. Doug Vinson will finish off the drive on the left-hand side, 7-0 Glen Rose. But Episcopal comes right back in another big game. Jaskowitz this time going right up the middle, 19-yard pickup before Mitchell brings him down. But again, the Glen Rose defense would bow up, and facing 4th down, a low snap has number 8 all over number 8. Glen Rose's Morgan Landreth takes Henry down, and Glen Rose is ready to go again. This time, Jones going 48 yards over the middle to Jay Keith. Keith, using his speed, makes it 14-0 Glen Rose. In the second quarter, the Beavers add to it. The same 2 hook up again. Jones to Keith, in traffic this time, grabbing his 2nd touchdown of the night, and Glen Rose rolls. Final score, undefeated Glen Rose 35, Episcopal 6. At Magnet Cove, the Panthers playing host to Center Point. Playoff berth on the line, and Magnet Cove wearing its Halloween black and orange. Quarterback Jake Stevens hooking up with Jake Daniel. Later on the drive, the same two. Stevens finds Daniel, this time for Magnet Cove's first touchdown. It was 7-7 at halftime. But Center Point opened the second half with fire. Tyler Baxter breaks a couple of tackles for Center Point, churning into Magnet Cove's secondary before Tyler Bray and Stevens drag him down. And that run would set up Center Point's second score of the night. Luke Palmer is going to stumble and back into the end zone. Final score, Center Point 28, Magnet Cove 26. Here's Hootens.com Class 3A rankings. Shiloh Christian beat West Fork 56-8 for its 24th straight conference win and back-to-back conference championships. Glen Rose has won 8 in a row, and Charleston trounced Atkins 35-0 in a showdown of unbeatens Friday night. Bauxite got by Rising 28-19 and plays host to Glen Rose next week with the conference championship on the line. Marshall blew out Perryville 41-9 and can clinch the program's first outright conference championship against Salem next week. Corning starts the second 5, and the Gurdon Go Devils jump up to number 7 after holding on to a 14-7 win over Lafayette County and clinching a conference championship. The Prescott Curly Wolves have scored more than 60 points each of the past 2 weeks. Harding Academy rounds out the top 10 after beating Rosebud by 22. Hoxie has an open date next week before heading to the playoffs. Harrisburg hammered East Poinsett County 28-7, plays Corning next week for a share of the 3-3A title. Mayflower moves up to 14 after pounding Salem 43-6, and Lavaca jumps up 2 spots to number 16 after beating Paris by 11. Number 17 Pottsville is headed to the playoffs for the first time after beating Mansfield 21-7. Then it's Lamar, Lafayette County, and Rising rounding out the top 20 after its 9-point loss to Bauxite.
This is supposed to be fun. Don't be uptight. Go out there, turn it loose, and let's get that home playoff game.
Mountain Pine playing host to 2A defending state champ Jessieville. The 5AA title on the line. Jessieville sloppy early. This is its second fumble of the first quarter. And Mountain Pine's sophomore Johnny Snow recovers, and Mountain Pine will take advantage. Sophomore quarterback Ryan Herron, he completed 7 passes for 143 yards, including this 29-yard touchdown in the corner to senior Derek McDormand. Mountain Pine 7, Jessieville 0. And Jessieville had a devil of a time with Mountain Pine's defense. Watch this. Senior linebacker Kyle Heller and junior Brett Meeks blitz Pierce Ivers. That's Jessieville's third fumble, and that's Coy Bell scooping and scoring. 35-yard touchdown. Bell had a big night. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He also caught 5 passes for 102 yards for Mountain Pine. Red Devils 14, Jessieville 0, but Jessieville responds. Ivers fakes to Tyler Beck, hands off to senior Dewey Knowles, and Knowles will do the rest. He had 128 yards on the night, 81 yards on this touchdown, as Jessieville rode up 303 yards on the ground, but it wasn't enough, as Mountain Pine got 83 yards from M.J. Davis, and the Red Devils are on the verge of winning their first league title in 21 years. Final score, Mountain Pine 26, Jessieville 21. The Carlisle Bison, wearing the black, lost last week at Earl. Friday night, Carlisle with no trouble against Clarendon. That's Cameron Russell's second touchdown of the night. It capped a 69-yard drive. Russell had 19 carries for 145 yards. The Bison totaled 418 yards on the night. Carlisle up 19-6 on Clarendon in the second quarter, and Clarendon comes back with big Stephen Boston, but the Lions had little success through the air. Carlisle's Colin Torian intercepted 3 passes on the night, giving him 8th for the year. Final score, Carlisle 39, Clarendon 6. At Hazen, the Purple Hornets trying to keep pace with Carlisle and Earl atop the 6AA, playing host to Des Arc. And Hazen had its running game going early. Sophomore Darius Mosby trying to get to the corner. The double handoff effective for Hazen too. Senior Jacob Lisco good to go for 18 yards before Des Arc's Nathan Holloway hauls him down. And Hazen had success around the other end too, with number 2 and senior Terry Loudermilk cutting back and breaking free. He breezes dude and dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Hazen. The Hornets led Des Arc 6-0 early, and Hazen looked like it would get more. Des Arc's pass is intercepted by junior B.J. Harrison, and everybody was grinning and winking and Hazen, but the Hornets couldn't convert on that turnover, and Des Arc would rally. Holloway finding running room on the right side, and Des Arc pulling off the upset. Final score, Des Arc 8, Hazen 6. Here's Hootens.com Class 2A rankings. The top 5 won by lopsided scores Friday night. Number 1 Junction City goes to number 2 Bearden next week for the big AA shootout. And just like last year, Hooten's TV crew will be there. Murfreesboro travels to Derricks next week with the number 2 playoff seed at stake. The winner likely goes to Bearden or Junction in the second round. Earl beat Palestine Wheatley Friday night to claim the top playoff seed from the 6AA. The Bulldogs will not play for 2 weeks now because they have an open date week 10 and a first round bye in the playoffs. There's number 6 Derricks, followed by Carlisle. The 7th-ranked Bison will be the number 2 seed from the 6AA and have a nice draw. Mark Tree wins the 3AA again, but will not have the first-round bye and layoff that hurt the Indians last year. Des Arc helped its postseason chances by winning at Hazen, and that left number 11 Hazen as the number 4 seed and a likely playoff trip to Junction City or Bearden. Woodlawn jumps up to number 12. Mountain Pine is 13. Ola stuns Danville 43-19 Friday night. Ola finishes the regular season next week at Jesseville. The Lions are followed by Spring Hill, Clarendon, Bigelow, and Hackett to round out the top 20. For our State Farm Play of the Week, we return to Little Rock Christian. Greenwood receiving the opening second half kickoff, and Christian sets the tone. Adam Vieira with the smackdown. Ball is loose. Curtis Keaton will take it in for the first of 30 unanswered points as Christian topples number 1.